Hey Skyfarers, and welcome to Aethercast, the Kharadron Overlords YouTube channel and podcast, where today we're taking a look at some of the KO lists from Brizhammer and Battle for Ravenhall from, this weekend and last weekend.
I believe it's still going on.
Yeah, Ravenhall 1 is still going on. And then we're going to chat to Krohn about how we got on at Brizhammer as well. But before we do that, let's introduce our crew for tonight's voyage and talk about the thing that's hot on everyone's lips at the moment, the news. So, of course, joining me, as always, I have my ever-faithful Max and Krohn.
Hello,
welcome,
everyone.
Guys.
Hello.
Hi.
So, third edition.
Hot news off the press. Aethercast going with the hottest takes always. First in the line, Age of Sigmar 3 coming out.
Oh, no, Warhammer Weekly's already beat us to it. They were like half an hour after the stream ended.
In there. I mean, we've heard AOS 3 now for weeks, so not really news.
You know what's the most important news from this? Is that Games Workshop have infringed on my intellectual property and are copying my signature move of making typos on screen shares.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh dear. Are you telling me no one looked at these slides beforehand?
Of course I did. But it's just what I do is you know what it's meant to say, so your brain...
No, I mean, is there no checking? I mean, this is a big company. They're doing a big review. It's the Saturday one. It's like the big climax of the whole week. And you put on a beautiful model, and then you have a typo.
What was the typo?
It doesn't say Stormcast. It said Stormcast or something. Sottercast.
Sotomcast or something, yeah.
New faction confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean... Yeah, third edition is coming. So we know some things about it. One of the things is that they are keeping the double turn. And if you go second after a priority roll, you get more CPs. So it sounds like when you get CPs is changing. Because rather than get them at the beginning of your turn, you'll get them at the start of the battle round.
Okay.
I don't know whether you get 2 instead of 1 or.
It lets people have means you can't really catch people out when they have no CP and battle shock their stuff off the board turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I think that's one of the reasons. If there were some armies that didn't really use much battalions, and that was always so they were high drop, unlikely to go first. And that was always a problem, an issue. Yeah. Just so they had to buy an extra CP. Mm-hmm. Like Skaven or even Seraphon.
Yeah. And speaking of battalions, there are going to be core battalions.
Thought that everyone can take.
Yes. So it's not clear yet whether they are replacing the battalions from Battle Tomes.
No.
Because that was one of the leaks. The battalions from Battle Tomes are going away.
What are you doing, Krohn?
Oh.
Your mic is giving me some feedback.
It sounded like you were unzipping something.
Well, look. Age of Sigmar 3. It's pretty spicy.
Oh dear.
Oh. No, it's just a cat. It's just a cat walking around right now.
Sure.
But so we've had a couple leaks, unofficial leaks coming around the internet.
Yeah.
But this is the first official thing we've heard about Age of Sigmar 3. So it's definitely coming, and just double turn. So does that mean the Zilfin bomb's still going to be a thing, right?
If The Zilfin ability doesn't get changed if Spell of the Bottle remains the same. If I don't know, a lot
If
of
endless spells still exist.
points, battalions, endless spells. You know,
Yeah, but
there's no telling right now.
we'll know what a KO double turn does, and it's going to continue to do that.
Well, it depends. What is terrain gonna do? Will it block line of sight also for flyers? Will you still be able to target heroes or not? For example, in 40k, I think you cannot target single heroes. What are modifiers gonna be against shooting? There's a lot of things to consider, and since we don't know anything, it's a bit hard to speculate.
Yeah, and then unless you start bringing the leaks into it, in which case it's like, well, you have to take them with a pinch of salt anyway, don't you?
You do.
So I mean, we might as well bring the leaks into the conversation. So the leaks are that modifiers aren't going to stack.
Are they coming from AOS List Labs YouTube channel?
Yeah.
From Sam, I think his name is.
Yeah, Sam Morgan. So,
shout out to him for the info. But yeah, so command points are going to be generated similar to the OBR command points.
So at the start of each round.
Yeah.
I don't know, how does 40k do that? They seem to have a lot of command points, like 12 or 15.
40k starts with a large amount, but then only ever generate one a turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they just start off with a ton, and then use it for deployment stuff and things.
Okay.
Charge reactions is a thing that he said.
Yes, I mean that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I don't know. We had that in Warhammer Fantasy. I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean,
it's going to be great for us if someone charges us, but it's going to suck if, like, you want to charge someone and they run away. Like,
yeah,
come on, I want to fight, I want to play, I don't want to chase people.
So yeah, one of the things is Overwatch. So if they charge us, we Overwatch. But then if we have like something like the last word, right now, I mean, if there are no changes, which there are going to be tons of changes, but if someone charges us, we Overwatch them, then we last word and Overwatch them again, right?
Yeah, I don't know how that was going to work.
And the other thing about charge wrestling, if you get to like Thunderers, I mean, they're going to just be really good because if they got the special weapons, because one of the things about this was that the leak said that you'll only be able to use charge reactions on units that charge from more than 9 inches away. Oh no, from less than 9 inches away. Sorry. So the idea being that they're more than 9 inches away, then you didn't sort of see it coming, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for us then, because we deploy out of 9.
Yeah.
Or exactly 9 away, and then with a +4 to charge on the Ironclad. Boom! No reaction there. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Didn't see the paint train.
Yeah. And the other thing is that if for the shooting one is you do -1 to hit. So for Thunderers, if they've got their mixed weapons, there'd be +1 to hit from the mixed weapons, -1 to hit from that, which basically cancel each other out. But then they would be within 3 inches of an enemy, so they get +1 attack.
Well, it depends when do you activate it? When the charge is rolled or declared, or when the model is placed, like within.
It would have to be after they move, surely, because if it's
I don't know
when a charge is declared, you don't. Well, I mean, at the moment
you declare charge, and what do you want to do? Do you want to run away? Do you want to stand? Do you want to?
Well, because at the moment you attempt to charge, so would you be able to use a charge reaction on a unit that like fails a roll?
Yeah, sure. They stumble over each other and get shot.
So basically, they
it's very cinematic to me, which adds to the confusion.
They might force you to choose a charging target before you charge now.
Yes, well, they have to.
Right now they don't, and
yeah, I think it will be triggered on if there's an enemy finishes a charge move within half an inch of the.
But then, how does the running away work? Because you place them next to me or surround me, and then I remove, or I don't know. How does that? I'm not sure. I think it might as well be that you have to declare a target of your charge, and then I decide what I want to do. I roll, and you see if you still catch me if I run away or not, or if I shoot you.
Yeah.
Because why would you be able to charge someone in that's got shot? Like I remove 5 of your models, and then you're not in combat anymore. So it's very unclear to me.
This is pure Aethercast speculation, by the way. All of this is just completely what's going to happen.
Not all of it, we know.
Because narratively, it's either based on, well, you see the models running towards you, and therefore you make a reaction to that, or you see them like as they get close to you, they're like, right, okay, I'm going to react, or it's, well, they look like they're about to run towards you, like they're tying their shoelaces, like getting stretching and stuff. Like, they're obviously about to charge.
Shoot him now.
Yeah. So it seems like to me the most logical thing is if they end a charge move next to a unit, then the unit can do a thing. That's how they currently do things for like the last word.
How did it work in fantasy though? I don't quite recall. Was I able to run away before they moved, or
both fantasy and 40k? You need to declare a target for your charge. So you go, this unit is going to charge that unit, or is going to attempt to charge that unit, and then that unit goes, okay, so I'm going to shoot, run, shield, whatever.
Because the running away one is interesting because if it works based on where they ended the charge move, then the running away one is pretty bad because it's only D6, so that quite often won't be enough to get you far enough away.
Well, if I can auto 6 it. I think that's one of the reasons why it doesn't work out of 9 inches. Because if I then run away, there's no chance for you to get the charge. Like if I run more than 3 inches, you cannot complete the charge with a 12.
Yeah, then the running away is almost pointless because why you're running away and you don't get away from them. So
yeah, or maybe you run 2d6. I don't know. Or you don't run, but you move your move characteristic.
No, but what the leak was is you get to move d6 inches, so it's not a run.
Right.
It's just you move d6.
Well, that's okay because you wouldn't want it to be as impactful as combat not happening anymore. You'd still want it to be a slight chance to get out of combat, but still,
And they can't do this to units, so you can still deep strike 9 away and then charge 9 inches. So it's not going to make 9-inch charges impossible and never going to happen anymore.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
But it seems like you could just surround a unit and then they wouldn't be able to. You'd spend it and roll your.
Well,
D6
unless they can fly.
Unless
they can fly.
Ultimately, it'd be kind of like limiting how many models can pile in.
Yes.
Really.
But you suffer a minus maybe. From doing it, like you're trying to run away, but they catch you, so you're -1 to hit or something.
The battalions thing interests me quite a lot because it will impact on this writing a lot. If there's core battalions, how are they going to word it? Are they going to be things like 1 to 2 heroes and then
leaders,
two battle line units? Or...
Yeah. It has to be battlefield roles.
In which case, will they add more? Will they add things like cavalry? Or...
you mean more rolls?
Yeah. Will they start stacking rolls on units? So in more than one roll.
In fantasy we used to have like battle line and elite units. Maybe they reintroduce that for cavalry or multi-wound units like Storm Fiends or that sort of thing. Because if it's battle line, then some units are battle line, but what about Thunderers outside of Nar? Then they can never go in a battalion. Or
unless you're in Nar.
That's what I said. Outside of Nar.
So the official announcement said that there were these core battalions, and the leaks have said that these core battalions are going to replace standard battalion.
Yeah,
for
in
match play.
Although I will say that I asked Sam Morgan on Twitter, and he said he hasn't seen the GHP, so I don't know how he knows that.
Okay.
That's That's the thing to mention here. I think he has only seen the core book so far.
He's only seen the core rules. So, I mean, we've seen in the past like GHP overruling things on core rules. Like,
although I'm not sure if we actually going to get a GHP this year. Maybe they'll just say, here's a list of all the new points for the new edition, and here's a core book with 12 battle plans. There you go.
We got a GHP with the last.
Yeah, we did.
But we didn't really get a new core book, did we?
Yeah, the last edition change. We got the big core book that was like
the fat one.
Yeah, 2 inches thick and had a big ribbon.
Like 3 pages of rules.
And then we had the core rules, and then because it pretty much made the gaming book redundant, didn't it? They released a gaming book, and then a month later, it's like, oh, by the way, here's the new core rules and the new GHP. Also, I can't remember which way around it was, but
so they can definitely release a GHB alongside a new edition.
We'll put it this way: are they really going to like overlook the chance to send us more books?
They'll send us another handbook. And I thought like the last, the small one that had all the endless spells and malign sorcery and artifacts and everything inside. That was super handy, and it was usable for half a year, which is very annoying because it had all the battle plans, it had everything in there.
They never repeated it. Yeah, they should have definitely made another one for 2020.
I mean, I don't know. Then it's another book then why buy the GHB? Because that was
I'm saying there'd be like a core rules book and then a GHP to go with it, which they've done in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
It depends. But yeah, I mean the battalions, because they have to be fairly open to be useful. Because if they're too restrictive, then they don't actually help the books that currently have bad battalions or none.
Well, it's going to be like extra CP or spend a CP, like for.
I mean more based on what's allowed to be in them.
Well, 2 battle line.
Because it says if it's not battle line units, then if it says 1 to 3 heroes and 2 units. Well, heroes are units, so then you could have use it to include.
Well, then it will say units that are not heroes.
Yeah, exactly. So it will be.
But I don't think they will. They will work with the hero keyword. They will work with the leader and battlefield role keywords. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So they will have to do things.
These things are going to be like the 40k formations, the detachments. How you build a 40k army is now going to be how you're supposed to build an Age of Sigmar army.
Yes, I agree.
So I think they will do quite a lot because there's kind of got to be more than one of these battalions, surely. Like he didn't say battalion.
They'll have like
6 or 9 or 3 or whatever. I don't know. But so they will have to do things like to make them different. They have to do things like X number of units that aren't monsters or X number of units that aren't behemoths, maybe. Or so there might be one battalion that should include behemoths and one that doesn't, and then that sort of thing. But it depends whether they go down the battlefield role or the keyword role, or both. Because if they start doing things like monsters, then
behemoths, I think.
But doing stuff like behemoths would be interesting because then you have things like frigates. So they're behemoths until you put them in Zilfin, and then they're not.
Maybe it's
because then they become battle line.
We'll see. We don't know. To be honest, maybe they'll add another role for war machines or artillery.
Mm-hmm. This is just a gigantic, I don't know, essentially.
Yeah, basically we don't know.
It'll be interesting to see.
There's nothing. So. New edition
is worrying at the moment, is it?
Right.
Well, we know that size of battle mats will probably be reduced.
Yeah, to the 40k to get it more
I
to
think it's
what
pretty-
Games Workshop likes.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. Although that wasn't in Sam's leaks. So
Oh,
No, it
it
wasn't,
was.
but I'd expect it to be in a GHP thingy,
Wait,
whatever,
wasn't
however
it?
that looks like.
yeah. That's normally in the GHP.
Because based
the size
on
of the battle.
the Warcry sized battle mats, whatever they're called, cardboard things, like multiples of those, the same as you have in Kill Team and the
Yeah, exactly.
smaller
It would
versions
make
of 40k. It makes up like the. And it's I don't know. It seems small, but I
It's
think the 40k
about-
community has come to terms with it. And thinking about organizing tournaments, it will make life so much easier for
You
like
can fit more
tables, the table size you need to put down.
You can fit more
a table.
tables in a room, so that's that.
They're about the mats are about 4. They're 5 foot long by 3.5 short, essentially.
Whatever that is in normal units. I have no idea.
Oh,
how much a foot
in
is.
inches?
No,
Oh.
centimeters, please.
Centimeters. I don't know, but it's 60 by 44 inches. Whatever that is.
1 foot is 30 centimeters, so 150 centimeters long.
Okay, so
by
like 30 centimeters less than currently.
90
So like
by 105 wide.
Not that much. Okay.
Yeah, it's a foot shorter, long way, and then the short way is only 4 inches shorter. So yeah,
Sure. I don't know.
But so that's happening. What other news is there? Because I don't.
New
Well, we've
Stormcast.
seen-
We've done that. There's an Angel Stormcast with Angel Wings,
Yeah.
not Light Wings, Angel Wings.
She
That's
looks
new.
cool, but why do
It
all
does look
the
cool.
female heads now have the same hairstyle?
What do you mean where it's like
the new
shaved?
ones? Like half of the skull shaved and then
Because
like hair over, because that's the warrior look they go for. Is that the only
and it's been quite popular
hairstyle
in the last sort of few years, just generally in real life. So
Yeah, that's
I
just
don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm not.
that's what trendy people look like now, Max.
Yeah.
I think maybe 3 years ago. But it's the
Who's that?
vampire lady beast hybrid thing has that hairstyle. This new Stormcast has that. It's a bit I think one of the vampire lady doesn't have that. The Underworld's Warband.
I think they do short hair because it has to look like they could put the helmet on without.
But it's not
having to
short.
spend it.
It's just on the side. It's not really
as
short
opposed
hair.
to like a really long ponytail or something, which would be very different, wouldn't it?
But orcs have those all the time.
But they don't have
Orcs have
helmets.
so many long ponytails.
They don't like Stormcast have got like small helmets that they put on over the top of their heads, haven't they?
Yeah.
So if you had really long hair, you'd have to I don't know. So there's new models for Stormcast, which means new allies potentially for KO.
Yes, new conversion options for that lady.
Yeah.
With her gear.
You could take nice feathery wings and replace them with Adeptus Mechanicus ones.
Yeah, or even a little gyrocopter backpack. Something like that.
Her up.
We've seen Kragnos and Soulblight models on Monday. Which I'm not sure about that centerpiece Soulblight vampire.
No.
Oh, the centaur thing.
The
vampire
2 torsos.
But torso on top of a torso. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like it, to be honest.
It's too much like Resident Evil for me.
I don't like it, but I'm not into that sort of thing to begin with. Like, I don't know. It's not an army I would collect anyway, so.
I mean, I've been painting some death stuff. I have some skeletons and bats and stuff. If you can play them as a like elite cavalry army with knights and bats and wolves, yeah, sure, why not as a hobby project? But that woman thing, nah.
Like as a monster, I like the idea that they're going sort of weird with them. But I don't know. I mean, maybe
it's a bit weird.
Vampires are already so sort of canonized in what they are that maybe it feels like it would have been better if it had just been something new.
Yeah, although these vampires, they're all like half wolf, or at least one subfaction, which is something that, like, they didn't go for werewolves, but they went to wolf vampires.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, wolves have always been a staple of the vampire mythologies. Like they can turn into wolves. That was a Dracula thing. He turned into a wolf.
No, wolves and werewolves were always like the enemies of vampires.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing that they combined them now.
Dracula turned into a wolf. That was his thing.
I mean, it's been a while since I read it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Yeah, when he rocks up in his boat at London, there's like stories about this giant wolf thing, dog thing prowling around.
I can't remember. I think I kind of took that as being just like people trying to make sense of it because they wouldn't think it was a human. Like, oh, well, there was a thing with like sharp sort of canine sort of teeth marks and stuff on it.
Okay.
So, I don't know. But I don't know. Let's talk about Kragnos.
Oh, the big red boy.
What do you think of his face?
I don't know. It seems that model is really big.
Yeah, it's like the size of
a mega gargant. Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many of him I'm going to shoot to death with my ironclad over the years after he comes out.
Oh, he's going to be popular, isn't he? So
it's going to be
depends
everywhere.
What he does, how strong he is. Does it make sense for you to put him into your Ironjaw's army for 800 points, and then you're left with 2 pigs and a few art boys?
Well, I mean, he does give everybody +1 to their bravery. Like, come on.
That's such a destruction buff. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Sure. Yeah, my bravery 4 is now bravery 5. Okay.
Yeah. Well, speaking of bravery, that does remind me of what we were talking about before the show, which was one of the other leaks was unit leaders will be able to use command abilities.
Yeah.
Which basically means everything battle shock immune all the time because you don't even need a hero nearby.
If you have enough points, yes.
So we might as well just remove the battle shock phase at this point.
Yes. So the bravery really won't matter. The bravery buff is like nothing.
I mean, does it really matter currently?
No, it doesn't. They're doubling down on how little it matters. I don't know. I mean, that was probably a bit unfair because we haven't seen everything yet. Maybe there's massive changes to battle shock.
Maybe you can't ignore battle shock anymore.
Yeah, maybe you roll 2d6 instead of d6, or I don't know. It could be. Yeah, they could do lots of things to make it more prevalent. They could remove that command ability completely. Although one of the leaks also was that the range on the generic command abilities was increasing.
Yeah.
So I would find it very strange if Sam said, right, he got the core rules and he read them and he said, I'll do some videos on this now. And he said, and in the video where he tells us that the range is increasing, he doesn't tell us that, this really important command ability is going away. So that would be very strange.
I find it weird that he's not telling us like everything in one video. But why wait like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, it could very well be like leaking it on behalf of Games Workshop to generate some pre-hype.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Don't buy that. He actually addressed that. I thought it was quite funny the way he addressed it. Was his response was, they can't point skinks properly. So do you think that they can mastermind this this sort of thing?
Okay,
he's not wrong.
So yeah, it does seem like over the top for them to try and mastermind this. It could be more the fact that there's someone like he hasn't like it, or he managed to flick through the book. He did get his hands on the book, but he got like 10 seconds of it, 30 seconds of it, or whatever. And then someone's been sending him pictures every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, but otherwise, surely you'd make like an hour-long video going, so, this.
Maybe.
This and this and this and this.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe he says he's trying to build his channel. He's got a new channel. He's trying to build up more views. So feeding him does give him more.
Yeah, but that's just a dick move. Let's be honest.
The other thing is maybe he just doesn't have a time to make a massive video and edit it and stuff. So he I'll just do a short one. Because if I leave it too long, spend too long working on this, then the Games Workshop will announce it, or someone else will get the leaks out before him.
Oh, it takes no time to make a video. Like if you really wanted to, you just smash the whole thing out in like an hour.
Okay, cool. Now you've said that, you can start to put loads of videos on Aethercast.
Okay.
Battle reports. Off you go, mate.
Just smash it out.
You've dug a hole there. One other thing I wanted to mention about the battalions that I forgot until we mentioned the Stormcast is, if you have generic battalions that aren't keyworded, then will you be able to put allies in them?
Depends if allies get roles or not. Because currently I think allies do not get battlefield roles. Not sure.
They do.
There was an
FAQ about that. They don't count towards the number of battle line units in your army. But they are still battle line in terms of scoring for. I mean, this is all based on current rules as well. But so they do have rules.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, it's like something like Fring. They're not allies, so the Dward, like the Fire Slayers or whatever, you're bringing in Fring. All of a sudden, then they can go in battalions with your KO, which would be interesting. And
well, if it's just generic stuff, I don't mind. Yeah, sure.
And maybe stuff like Tempest Eye, the KO will be going into the battalions as well.
But they go anyway into the battalions already.
We are getting more.
For Windrunners has a gunholder.
Yeah, but you can't put like an Ironclad in the battalion at the moment, which you could do potentially with a generic one.
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
No, I just think it's good. It's good for KO. It's good for things with like that 1 in 4.
We're getting a lot of these 1 in 4 factions. What if they removed allies entirely and said you could only take allies if you have that 1 in 4 thing?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
They might
be like their battalions, allies.
Use this as an opportunity to change what allies factions can have and limit that a bit more, because the more recent books you're seeing like, Lumineth Realm Lords, they can only have IDK. They haven't got like this long list.
Lumineth can take Idoneth?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, who has long lists of allies?
No, I mean, instead of having like 3 or 4, it's just like 1 or 2. So it really limits your options a bit more.
Stormcast, Legions of Nagash, Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah, Chaos, they have a lot of allies, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think we can't say much more about this until we get more information from Games Workshop, can we?
Yeah.
Games Workshop, if you're listening. The most important, the newest model that's rocking the internet, the crab.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the crab.
Crabnos.
I think the fish has been unfairly looked over, because the fish is quite cool.
But fish already exists.
Little Nemo there swimming around. He's cool.
The crab is just too much cool. Give him like a knife and 1 claw.
Little Zoidberg, yeah, he's alright. If I'm going to infringe copyrights, I might as well do it with both the crab and the fish.
It's great. The memes are great.
Yeah, by the fat of the land. Apology one. The Battle Tome what was it? Krabnos.
Krabnos, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. One other item I want to bring up. You may have seen recently on one of the smaller YouTube channels. I think it's called Warhammer Weekly. You know, one of those small channels. They might have done a tier list of the gods. The one thing you need to know about that is you can't trust anything an Olgi says. And one thing, you just remember, the Dwarven gods are the best. That's all I'll say about it. I won't go into details.
I haven't even watched it.
But,
I mean, okay, Dwarven gods should man up and get themselves a model. But okay, yep.
Yeah. We all just the Dwarven gods are the best, and that's all we need to say.
Right.
Dwarven gods don't need a model because their people are just badass. Elves, they need a god, like to chaperone.
Chaperone, yes. Yeah, the Dwarven don't need a chaperone.
We don't need a Marathi or a Teclis.
Yeah,
No,
We're just badass ourselves.
We build blimps, and our blimps shoot the gods, and it's great.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at some KO lists, shall we? Probably, maybe even the last time we look at some. Oh, be enthusiastic, Max. Come on.
I'm sorry, but currently I'm like between editions. I don't even know what to paint or what to collect or what to finish of units. Because will they be viable? Will they be 150 points for free Sky Riggers? I don't know. Who knows? So currently I'm just painting Cursed City models.
Yeah, so this could be the last time we look at some.
No, we don't do that here.
The 40k are for conversion piece, and that's it.
Wow.
But this could be the last time we look at some KO lists from a competitive sense until we get the new edition, because
one thing is also that's a bit bothering me or annoying me that for the AOS World Championship in September, they will very likely use second edition or last year's THP. So either I'm like for the next month playing two systems or not playing at all.
Well, you might even be in Japan, Max, so.
Yeah. They've announced for the Australian Masters that they're also going to be using second edition. So I'm going to be playing second edition as well.
But when is Masters?
August.
See, yeah, I mean, depending when it comes out, August kind of I could see. September seems a bit, I don't know, like the new edition could have been out
for a long time.
The thing is, cutoff for lists and rules, everything is July. So
okay. So yeah, you'd have maybe like a week of figuring out the new edition before you have to submit your list at that point, which is a bit too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a very early cutoff for list submission.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 month, 2 months.
Well, yeah, I mean, 1 month I can see. 2 months is. I mean, when in September is it? Is it the beginning?
From the 1st to the 5th.
Oh, okay. So it's literally like the very beginning of September. So. Okay, fair enough. That makes a bit more sense. Like, because if you're saying it's like the 23rd of September, it's like, well, yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, let's look at some of these KO lists from Brizhammer and Battle for Ravenhall. Keep me saying that in my head. I always want to say like the Harry Potter one, Ravenclaw. Yeah. So the first list is from Ethan Moon. This is the only one from Battle for Ravenhall. We don't know how well it's done so far. Well, we know how well it's done so far. But,
where is this Ravenhall?
Melbourne. Down here.
So it's a battle for Melbourne. Okay.
Yeah. But it's happening this weekend, so they haven't done day 2 yet.
Okay.
So, no, day 2 starts in about 2 hours.
Yeah. So, but currently he's 1 for 2 from day 1.
So wait, he's lost 1 and won 2, or won 1?
He's won 1 and lost 2.
Oh, really?
Story of this show.
Look,
Yeah, even Krohn let us down.
We're not.
Everyone.
Just because we talk about KO doesn't mean we're actually any good at KO.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a signal for new changes because I don't think I've made
I think we need
any
a buff.
typos in this. So, maybe it's like a new era of like Krohn does bad at
sure we can
tournaments,
find a typo in
but I don't make
Oh,
typos.
we're looking for typos now.
So,
Okay,
this
people.
is how I can get you infused, Max. Is you can just spot the typo while we talk about this. So it's 7 drops, 123 wounds, 2,000 points on the nose. He has an admiral with master commander because he has to, because he's the general. Staff of ocular optimization on the admiral as well. Chemist with spell in the bottle. 3 units of 10 Arcanauts, each with one of each of the special weapon. A frigate, the heavy sky cannon, a unit of 15 thunderers with 1 deck sweeper, 1 Aether cannon, and 1 mortar. And then 2 gun haulers, 1 with collapsible compartments and 1 with the spar torpedo. And then an ironclad with the sky cannon and the last word. Both the gun haulers have the sky cannon, by the way, as well. And it's escort wing with warp lightning vortex. So, what do you think?
I mean, he's got screens. He's got screens, which is really good, and he's got the thunderers in an ironclad, which should do ton of damage.
I have several questions.
Is the first one about the thunderers?
No.
Is the first one about the weapon choice on the ironclad?
No. The first one is the admiral.
Okay.
Why the admiral? Because let's be honest, there's better traits than that, and so why take an admiral to force you to? Because you don't need the admiral to unlock anything. You could take the chemist as a general. The admiral, like the staff of ocular optimization on is kind of wasted on that hero anyway. So either, I mean, it's wasted on all the other options you have, but you could go 1980 points with a navigator. With a flare pistol.
The illuminated pistol.
Oh no, you can't. Yeah. No, you can't. Well, you can if you make the chemist the general with collector. So yes. No, you have to still. You still have to assign the stupid. No, okay. Well, never mind. But still. No, but you need to assign the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
No, but you still. Maybe I'd go for an Andrew Master or a Navigator. And
at least the Navigator, the weapon range is 15 inches, so at least when you sort of fly high somewhere, you can use that +1 to hit.
Or on the Andrew Master, so it's a 2+2+2 rank.
I mean, you could make a case for 2 chemists with one of them with the staff of optimization. Stick them inside the gun hauler with the compartments, and then it can actually go.
The only benefit from the Admiral is the battle shock immunity.
Yes.
Battle line. I don't know if you need 3 units of Arcanauts if you are already in Zilfin with the frigate is battle line as well. But so maybe put those points into a 3rd hero and get a navigator. And
I really like having 3 Arcanauts just because the screening ability, the ability to just take objectives. 3 Arcanauts is a really nice space to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
whatever.
We'll talk about your list in a minute, Con, but you played a slightly different list to what you normally have.
Yeah, I've got reasons for that. I'll go over those reasons.
But you had less Arcanauts than normal.
And I missed them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me continue. 15 Thunders, I've said this before. In this list, where are these 15 Thunders going? Are they going into the Ironclad? Then the Ironclad can't fly high.
It can, as long as he doesn't have any heroes in it.
Yeah, but he wants the... okay. Okay, so he's putting the heroes in the compartment. Gun hauler. Okay.
But then you couldn't warp lightning vortex properly.
Why not?
Because unless you're not using the Zilfin move on the Ironclad.
You're doing the move with the gun hauler.
Yeah. Not the Ironclad. So the Thunderers aren't all in range. Oh, there would be, but again,
no, they can't. They can't disembark. That's the thing.
yeah.
They wouldn't get the +1 to hit. So they're big.
Why no Fumigator on the Thunderers? Because you have the special weapon, so obviously he wants to deploy them to get the +1 to hit. But then I'd always put in a Fumigator, because then if they're outside the ship, they'll get charged by something.
What I don't understand about the Thunderers is only one deck sweep and one Aether cannon. Because he's got 15.
You could have
So
more of those.
Maybe he
one
wants...
more to make sense, but...
I don't know. Like, the Thunderers I don't quite understand. I think there's some optimization possible there, some potential. Gunholder, yeah, sure. Solid. Ironclad, Sky Cannon is okay if he keeps it, like if he wants to do the shooty version. The Last Word, I don't know, I have my problems with that because it's just one gun that fires like the 6 shots. If it would be everything, it would be so great. But 6 shots, it's good, but maybe there's an argument here for a battle ram or even +2 wounds because he has no healing in this list for the ships.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
So
is it?
Yeah.
If he dropped the Admiral to a Chemist and then dropped a unit of Arcanauts, he could make that unit. He could make that unit of 20 Thunderers. If it was a Chemist, not if it was an Admiral.
Yeah, he could. So I don't know. Did they already play with the new Triumphs, or are they still playing with pre?
I don't know. I would imagine.
I'd imagine
they're not using them because it hasn't had an FAQ, has it? So
yeah, they're pretty strict on the whole must-have FAQ to use it rule.
Okay.
So at Brizhammer, they weren't even using the new Lumineth. None of the new Lumineth were allowed.
Okay. Do we know if the frigate or the Ironclad is in the battalion?
Don't know.
I would
imagine it's the Ironclad, and it doesn't really make any difference from the construction of the list. So
no,
it would it makes more sense to put the stronger one in there, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And then personally, I'm not a friend of high drops. Just the way I play, 7 drops is quite high. He can screen, but then
there's the screens.
If they make you go first, I don't know. I think the list is not bad per se. There's maybe some potential here. Maybe that's something he'd like to change in the future after this tournament. I don't know even how versed of a player he is with KO or how long he's playing it. Is he just like playing the Thunderers, the models that he has built? Is he trying out stuff? Yeah. I mean, it should do some work, this list. I assume he'll win his last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a decent list. I think it's just not optimized.
Yep, I agree.
Basically,
there's no big mistakes or like things you think, well, this is just really weird. It just says some things that could be tweaked. Like the weapons and the Thunderers, it's like, well, you kind of don't go on a middle road between rifles or mixed weapons, and I think that is quite likely. It's just because they're probably maybe the models he has.
Could be.
He probably got 1 unit of 10 rifles, 1 unit. I don't know. I was going to say 1 unit of 10 with mixed, but then they wouldn't. Well, he could have still had 15 with rifles then. But yeah, it's a very decent list. I think he should be able to pick up at least 1 win in this next 2 games. Probably 2.
Surely, yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm actually quite surprised he only went 1 and 2 in the first.
Well, we don't know his.
3.
Do we know his matchups?
No.
First up, he fought a Seraphon player. I know that much.
So probably would have been tough.
He fought a pretty good Seraphon player. Although I think I heard on the same article that Ethan's a pretty he's an experienced player. Like he knows what he's doing. But I think this might be one of his first forays into KO, as such.
Hmm.
I'm not
Right.
sure. I might be
Well,
misrepresenting
Ethan-
him entirely.
You might want to watch more Aethercast.
No, it won't
Just to
matter.
give you
Because
some
by the time he
ideas.
gets around to watching Aethercast, it'll be a new edition, and everything we've ever said will be wrong.
Well,
So-
we'll find new things to say.
Okay, let's
There's a new season.
move on to William Bromley's list. He's a fan of the show, I understand.
I think I've heard the name.
Yeah, he is.
Haven't we?
I think so.
He watches our show all quite a bit.
Okay, so
That would be
William,
nice.
have you not been taking notes?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
So let's go through the
to
list.
be fair, we struggled with Barak as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we gave a recommendation not to use it.
Let's go through the list for the podcast listeners. So it's Barak Nar, 3 drops, 104 wounds, 1980 points. Endrin Master with Dirigible Suit. Command trait is Champion of Progress, because that's the one you have to have in Barak Nar. And the Aether Charge rune, because you have to have that on one of your heroes in Barak Nar. And then he also has Brokk Grungsson, which, a narrative pick.
The big boy.
In Barak Nar. Chemist with Spell in the Bottle. And then a Navigator. A unit of 20 Arcanauts. And then a unit of Endrinriggers with Swords and Pistols. And then a unit of 10 Thunderers with mixed weapons, which has 2 mortars, which I think is a bit interesting. And then a gun hauler with the Spire Torpedo, an Ironclad with the Skyhook and Battle Ram, and then Iron Sky Command. And Endless Spell for Spell in the Bottle is Vengeful Skull Root,
which is a wild pick.
Basically, a dead tree.
Yes.
And it does as much as a dead tree would.
It's spooky. It makes people take more wounds on their battle shock.
You know that conversation we just had about how
battle shock is
battle
never
shock immune.
Yep.
Yeah. This.
How many points is a skull root?
40 points.
So you had 60 points available.
Yes, you could have had Geminids.
You could have had the Viper for 40 points.
Yes, he could have had Scuttle Tide. He could. There's several things I think that would have been better.
Maybe William Bromley is a 7th player and he has that endless spell lying around.
Maybe.
So also to note about this list, this wasn't a KO list technically. This was a Goblin list. All of this was converted to be goblins and flying blimps and squigs, and like Brokk was a guy on a chariot being carried by another squig. It was
okay. Well, it sounds fun.
Move on. Next list.
It was fun.
Really?
Why would you do that to your poor Kharadron?
Oh.
Why? What happened to you in your childhood? Poor little thwarted.
They look really cool.
I think I've seen some pictures in the Facebook group.
Is that where the Endrin of the ship is like a big squig?
Yeah,
inflated squig. Okay, yeah.
Cool
hobby.
I posted a bunch of pics on the Aethercast Twitter that you guys should certainly check out.
There's a
wink.
Yeah, Aethercast _ AOS, because Aethercast was already taken.
What?
By some like code writers or developers or something, and who haven't used their account for like 5 years.
Oh,
okay.
The strange thing about this list is it almost feels like a narrative Barak Nar list, but then when you say it's all converted as like goblins and stuff, it's like, well, doesn't need to be narrative then, because he's got Brokk Grungsson in Barak Nar, which is makes sense, but.
Yeah, so Brokk Grungsson got him the last game. He did really well in his last game, but yeah, I think Williams seen that Brokk is maybe not the greatest choice that day.
Yeah, the last game was down as a draw. It was a draw, wasn't it? He didn't.
I thought he won it.
Yeah, because that's what I thought you had said before he won it, but
yeah.
Or maybe it was one on secondaries or something, and then that didn't go down. tabletop
Well-
PO that way.
Mm.
But no, I mean, there's some things in it. There's a few things in this that make sense if you're going to use Brokk Grungsson in an Nihilist, like to then have like the Skyhook and the Battle Ram. You're sort of playing with charges and stuff.
Yeah. Rerolling charges.
And then you've also got the Spar Torpedo. Like it's an aggressive list. There's some other things I think make less sense. Like there's never any reason to have 2 mortars.
No.
I wouldn't say so. No, it's just not good.
The Vengeful Skull route. I wouldn't bother with.
Yeah.
To be honest.
No. And
But,
do you want 1 block of 20 Arcanaut? Or would
2
you
10s?
2 10s, but then you go up a drop?
Yeah, the 20-man block is probably just to keep the drops down. This is a low drop list.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's 1, 2,
It's 3 drops.
3 drops, it says there on the list.
3. No, that
Because you can have Brokk plus the 3 heroes.
Brokk can be the extra hero, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes. Like the Admiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget that. That's a thing.
Yeah, 0 to 0 to 1.
0 to 1 Admiral or Brokk in Iron Sky Command. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, this list looks to me like it's got lots of decent tools in it. The Vengeful Skull route I would obviously change. I'm surprised he only either won or drew 1 game. To be honest. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because Brokk Grungsson is bad, but he's not that bad. Like just having
He's
Brokk Grungsson
not.
in your list shouldn't have that much effect.
No, but
So
you're playing Nar, so you have a useless trait because you have the Iron Sky Command. The artifact is okay, but not as good on the Ender Master because it's just like 1 hit or wound or 1 dice roll. It's great on the Ender Master on foot because then you can just make it a 6 and deal 3 mortal wounds with his hammer. But you have to take it. Spell in a bottle with the Skull Root. I'm not sure how to even use it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get him range, whatever. Ender Rig is all pistols and saws. Okay, if you're going to do the charging aggressive style, maybe put in a Skyhook for a +1 to charge. The Thunder, as we said, maybe 1 less mortar, 1 less fumigator, and then drop them somewhere with the chemist. And apart from that, it's not a bad list.
You see, if you went to 2 units of 10 Arcanauts, then he wouldn't need the Endremaster Druidbolt suit to be his general. So if he downgraded him to like a normal Endremaster, you could, the rune would make a bit more sense because you could then get their auto 6, which would, be mortal wounds then.
Yeah,
Is
maybe
that
it's.
how- yeah.
But then, what do you do with the extra 110 points?
Well, you could have cogs.
Cogs would be really good in this list.
Because you
Have some Ether Wings for
you
screens.
have so many wings for screens. How many points exactly would you be left over then? Because you've got 20,
Cogs is
so you'd have
90.
60 plus 90,
On
so you'd have
cogs,
150. Then you put 150, so you'd have 60 points spare. So you could basically have 1 unit of Vapor Wings and be 1980 still. But you'd be 5 drops.
Yeah. How's 5 drops looking for you, Max?
It's too many.
Well, you're gonna like my list at least. I hit your magic number.
Yeah.
Good.
Smatter84 in the chat says the salt from Max is real.
I'm sorry.
We've picked you on a bad day, Max. You should be happy because 3rd edition is coming.
It's the whole not knowing what's happening. It's
Mhm.
I said it. It's taking out a bit of the painting and hobbying mojo currently. Why even bother with list building if you know it? Like in a month, everything's for naught.
We've got a question.
Please don't take this personal, people.
Well,
at least the people who wrote these lists.
Yeah. We have a question in the chat as well from Philip from Ryan. He says, should I start by building rifles or mixed weapons? Got 5 rifles already. My current plan was to have 10 guys as rifles. So I did a video on it. You can check that out.
Yeah, you did a whole video on this.
Yeah, I managed to talk about it for an hour somehow. But I would, go with rifles on your next 5. You can then, by building 5 more later, you could then make it so it can switch to be a unit of 10 with mixed weapons, because only in a unit of 10, only 5 of them need to have mixed weapons to be a full mixed weapon unit, really, because you would only want 1 mortar, 2 deck sweepers, and 2 Aether cannons. So, build your next 5.
And maybe a fumigator.
You wouldn't be able to. You'd have to make that decision now. So the question would be, magnets is always best. If you've got Thunderous Profiteers, then on this next 5, build 4 rifles and a fumigator. If you haven't, then build all rifles, and then when you do your next 5, do the mixed weapons, and then that will give you the option of running a unit of 10 either of mixed weapons or with.
Yeah, just make sure
rifles.
Because if you later then decide to add more cannons, not all arms work with all weapons. I encountered that problem. Like later on, I wanted to add more deck sweepers, and I had to kind of convert one arm and do some adjustments to actually get my 4th deck sweeper, because I've used the model that it should go on for a rifle. So maybe pay attention to that.
You can always fudge it a bit with some green stuff under the shoulders if you need to.
Yeah, basically now it's a deck sweeper, so just aiming upwards.
Yeah. Let's move on to Nathan Goodchild's list. So, Krohn, am I right thinking you played against this?
No, I didn't play against him.
You just saw him at the tournament?
I just saw him. Took a couple pictures of him.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
He's got really nice spacing on his gun, on his ships. He uses like the ruined scenery terrain.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Wait, no. This wasn't this, because he had a navigator.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is a different.
Yeah. No, this was different. I don't know what this was.
This guy, did he drop out after first day, or why is he only 1 and 2?
I don't know. I'm assuming he must have dropped out or something. I don't know.
That must have. Yeah, he would have. Okay, that's why I didn't see him on day 2 when I took my pictures.
Okay. So this list is Barak's on. It's called Gimli's Flight School. It's nice that he's named the list. 3 drops, 97 wounds, 1940 points.
Okay.
Entering Master of Dirigible Suit as the general, with Supremely Stubborn and the Aethersped Hammer.
Well, Supremely Stubborn, shouldn't that be the trait for Fring?
No, I think there might be. Yeah, because
the trait for Zon is the Bear of the Iron Star. That's a fact. And this is the trait for Fring. So have I found a typo?
No, it's definitely not a typo. But no,
maybe he put his list in wrong a little bit.
Yeah. Well, there was one player that forgot to put one of his engine works on one of his ships.
Yeah, I know. Who would do that? Don't worry. It's not like I used the engine work in the game to kill anything ever. Maybe one.
Let me just double check this on Tabletop to make sure. I'm fairly sure.
So I know that Supremely Stubborn is a Fring trait. Because building a lot of Frings with literally.
No, you're definitely right. That is, he can't have Supremely Stubborn. Just checking, it's not my mistake.
Well, it should be Bear of the Iron Star, and that's a great one to have on the Envy Master.
Oh, I would have to, yeah, although they're not on table.to, I'd have to find the thing from AOS Shorts to find it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm fairly sure it did say Supremely Stubborn. But yeah, it should have been the Bearer of the Iron Star, which did recently get a buff with the FAQ because it confirmed that it works on mortal wounds, which is quite cool. And then he has the Chemist with Spell in a Bottle. His battle line is 3 units of 6 Sky Wardens, all with 1 grapnel launcher each. Unit of 5 Grunstock Thunderers with 1 of each special weapon, including the Fumigator. 2 Gun Haulers, 1 with the Surge Injection Endrin, and then an Ironclad with the Sky Cannon and the Battle Ram, and then Grunstock Escort Wing and Warp Lightning Vortex.
I mean, the Sky Cannon is just better it's just the better shooting option. Scattershot is so nice.
It's an interesting pick, though, if you're going with the Battle Ram, because you can make the case whenever you have the Battle Ram to have the Skyhook.
Battle Ram with Skyhook +2. And Cogs, another +2.
Because then the other thing about this list, and it's similar with the case with William's Gnar list, is if you have an endless spell outside of Zilfin, you don't really have the facility to deploy it.
Not really.
So
the thing is, how are you delivering this Warp Lightning Vortex?
Because you'd have to come in on your first turn, on your first turn, then wait a turn, and then cast it. At which point they are spread out and
or you're in between. Like you're hitting your own units.
Danger close, and you're going to just blow everything up. Do not put a Warp Lightning Vortex on a boat. It hits everything inside. It's how many times I've killed stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, would you swap the Warp Lightning Vortex to Cogs in this list?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
He has the points.
He's got so many points. Look at that.
Yeah. You'd have bound Cogs and it'd be 1950, and your Sky Wardens get a bonus on the charge. So
yeah, but then also the grapnel launches on the Sky ones. I'd change all of these for Skyhooks to get a +3 to charge, and then go to town.
I don't mind the idea of having grapnel launchers on them. Like charge a bunch of stuff, lock them in place.
But you're charging stuff with 6 Sky Wardens in zone. There's not much left.
Either you kill them or you're dead.
Yeah. Or you're gonna.
It's a case of if you could position in a way so you kill one unit and then you tag another unit so that they're just within 3.
But that's too situational. That's hard to pull off.
Yeah.
With the Sky Wardens, I think you'd want to go in, do damage. So Cogs with Skyhooks is great, and it's the same shot. So
the one thing in this list that I'm a little bit unsure about is the Thunderers. Yes,
well, I mean they are the tax for the Escort Wing, but I always feel bad paying 120 points for 5 Thunderers. Because 5 Thunderers, let's be honest, they're not going to do much. They don't have a gold. You can't really buff. You can buff them, but would you? I'd rather buff Sky Wardens with the Chemist.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not convinced.
No. Yeah, I really like the fact he's playing Zon, though.
Yeah.
And, playing a more...
Zon is great. Zon is great.
Zon is great. I played it once in a little one-day tournament. It was actually really cool.
It is. I'm currently playing it. I've played it in other tournaments. It's fun.
Yeah.
But people don't expect it.
Yeah.
No one expects the combat KO until it punches them in the face.
Well, combat and charging, mortal wounding.
Yeah.
List. Yep.
The other thing is the gun hauler with the surge injection engine. Would you switch it to Spar Torpedo?
Probably a Spar Torpedo, but it's not bad.
No.
because it's a lot of movement, and you can tag units. Like the gun hauler, he can do the job that he's trying to do with Skywardens here. Send him forward with 20-inch move plus charge, and just tag someone on the far corner. Even Hearthguard Berserkers, if only 3 Hearthguard Berserker hit the gun hauler with a gold, he'll probably stay alive for a round. So you can, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's something that's a kind of a preference pick, I think, because you can make a case for it.
Yep.
So before we move on, William Bromley's actually in the chat.
Hi, William.
So he says thanks to Alex for your tips and stuff, and he's already revising the list for the Rune Axe team tournament.
I'm not sure if I'd listen to Alex.
Wow. Look.
I mean, you used to be a great player.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
Yeah. Oh well, there was one thing actually about that Warhammer Weekly thing.
Yeah.
Where they tiered things. There was a whole bunch of gods where they're like, they all did good things in the past, and they haven't done anything recent. What have you done for us recently, Krohn?
I've just played with elves a bit. Occasionally took out KO. Yeah. I don't know. What do I even do? I just sit here.
You woke up today. You woke up on time.
I did wake up today.
Yes.
Thank you for noticing, Lee.
He did. We were all surprised.
Yes. William also said Brokk won't be in the list. He promises.
But yeah, no, it'll be. I'll see you there, Will. It'll be. It's going to be a great tournament.
When is that tournament?
November. It's November. So hey, we're going to play a whole new edition.
Yeah, cool. And when you say that's a team tournament, some people use the term team for different things. So is that like teams of like 4 people, or is it
teams of 4? So it's going to be, and then the team captains kind of match the lists together to try and get the best matchups, and then you play games.
Yeah, because some people use the term team for doubles, and it always confuses me.
Right, right.
Owen says you won't have the vengeful skull either. Another question from the chat. FU Mark. I don't know who Mark is, but
screw Mark, I guess.
Yeah, FU Mark says which gunship is best. Well, the Iron. Unless he means which gun. And that was a while ago, so it might have been when we were talking about on the list. So he might have been asking which gun hauler was best.
Whatever one has the Death Star torpedo.
Yeah, but in terms of ships, the Ironclad is obviously best, but it's more points. So
the gun hauler with the spar torpedo, that thing is good.
It is.
Okay, next list, Timothy Macdivitt, and I think we've looked at one of his lists before.
This is the guy that I took pictures of on the Twitter. Okay. He's got a really cool converted navigator.
Okay, cool. How is it converted? What's he done with it?
It's an Arcanaut body, and he's holding a staff made of partly made out of the skyhook, and he's got one of the navigator instruments from the ships. So it's basically like a ship's navigator kind of just stepped out and is now on the field as well.
Okay, yeah. I think I might have seen that before. So this is Urbaz. So we're getting a nice mix of skyports with these lists. 3 drops again, 107 wounds, and also 1940 points. Timothy went 3-2 and come 18th. So he has an Endron Master with Druidable Suit as a general. His command trait is wealthy, so he gets an extra share of gold. He has bomblets, a navigator with the flare pistol, 3 units of 3 Sky Wardens, each with a volley gun and a drill cannon.
Well, only the third one only has one.
Oh, yeah, so one of them, and that is, one of them only had a drill cannon rather than a drill cannon and a volley gun, sorry.
Is that a typo?
No, definitely not. Definitely not, because I if it was going to be a type, it would have been the other way around. It would have said Voliga by mistake because I would have copied and pasted it. But no, I remember going, oh no, I need to take a Voligun out.
Close.
Yeah. I'm sure. Hopefully, if people are watching the show that whose lists these are, they might come around and say, "I got things wrong." You know. So he has 3 gun haulers, each of which have got a drill cannon, and one of them has the Breath of Morgrim because it's Urbaz. So something's got to have that. And then he has a unit of 15 thunderers, all with rifles, and an ironclad with the buoyancy aid and the sky cannon, and it's Grunstock Escort wing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this is just a solid Urbaz list. It's not doing that Alpha Strike and just sitting back and just pot shotting.
There's a lot of battle line,
Yeah, there's six units of battle line.
Using your durability.
There's a lot of drill cannon shots there to sprinkle more wounds around. If you roll well. Yeah. There's enough there to, sort of consistently get them.
With rerolling ones,
And with 36-inch range, that's like you can't screen it out. Like they are going to pick whatever they want to hit.
And a flare pistol as well. So once per game, reroll them all on one target. So that's cool. The one thing on this list that I would question is the buoyancy aid.
No, he wants the navigator with the thunders.
Yeah, because the navigator has to go forwards, and this is the thing.
It's a waste of an Enderon work basically for one person,
for one model, and then it's how gamey do you want to be? Because you've got all rifles, so you could have a unit of 4. Oh no, you couldn't have a unit of 14 because you're in a battalion.
Because they're in a battalion.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you had a unit of 10. I know. You know what I do? I would have only 2 gun haulers.
Why couldn't you have a unit of 14?
Because you cannot
have understrength units in a battalion.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Well, you always learn something new here on Aethercast.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if this was me, I'd drop a gun hauler and have 20 thunders. Or 2 units of 10. Maybe, but then it's extra drops.
I mean, it's still cool. No, I think, he did win 3 games. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's
definitely a solid list.
It's okay.
It's just that really bugged me personally having a buoyancy 8 just for one dude.
Maybe I'd even drop 3 sky ones to get 20 thunders.
Yeah, because it's either that or you go down.
And then you're at 1960. So you're still 1940 is great for the Triumph, but it seems a bit too low.
Excessive.
I think with 1960 you'll still get the Triumph.
Almost.
But then obviously you lose 1 drill cannon. But yeah.
What do you think of the command train?
You have a lot of units and a lot of gold. You might struggle to spend all the gold, and I don't know if the Enver Master really needs the extra gold.
No.
Maybe you could take a grudge bearer or a or tough as old boots. Train.
After the last weekend, I love grudge bearer. It's I haven't used that before. I have now.
I always told you it's great.
It is.
Murder machine.
It does.
But yeah, this is a good list, and it's not surprising it's gone 3-2.
It's good. It's solid. It's Urbaz, your bread and butter. It does well. It does what it does.
Doesn't have tricks and that sort of thing, and it's an honest list.
Yep.
You go somewhere and you shoot stuff really hard.
As honest as KO are perceived.
Yeah, because he's still got 4 things that can teleport. So there's that. Let's move on. Oh, who's this guy?
Yeah,
Alexander Krohn. Never heard of him.
No.
This was the net listing guy with the takes back Zilfin because he's win at all costs. And
I mean, he only knows how to win with Barak Zilfin. He's got nothing else.
Okay, so
this is such a busy list.
Yeah. Krohn, do you want to talk us through it since it's your list?
The thing about this tournament was the whole thing was in Barak. It was in Realm of Ulgu, Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is that I know that these guys the guys at the tournament in Queensland tend to use Be'lakor a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I had to get rid of my 20-man Thunderer blob that sits on the ground because A, it's not going to see half the stuff, and B, it's going to get Be'lakor immediately. So I decided to try and get some Endriggers in.
And did they use a lot of Be'lakors?
They did not use any Be'lakors.
Because they knew that you were expecting that they'd play Be'lakors.
They knew that they knew that I knew that they
advanced psychology there.
Oh yeah.
I think I might have spotted the show's typo.
Wait, don't tell me.
It's not it's not a spelling mistake typo, it's a choice typo. I think maybe. Luckily we actually had the person who played.
Well, I found the typo.
Oh, have you?
Oh.
Yeah, the Depth Settler Sparta people.
Oh, I missed the T. Yes.
Boom! And on this bombshell, we will end the show. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. No. Okay. So, what are you seeing, Lee?
Buoyancy aid.
Oh
yeah, no, that shouldn't be a buoyancy aid. That's another battle ram.
Oh dear.
There we go.
Yep.
Fixed it.
Oh, and
so
quick shout out to the chat. William says, "Poor Deb. She's been settled. Debbie has."
Yeah. So following along the trend of battle ram ironclads.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Everyone's got them these days.
Yep. Best kind of ironclad.
No, so I really missed having more Arcanauts.
Mm-hmm.
You just couldn't. I was basically using riggers to screen parts of my force on that turn one.
Just for the podcast people, just go through the list quickly for the podcast people.
So we've got a Endrinmaster with Ritual Suit as a general. He's got the Grudge Bearer, and he's got the Staff of Ocular Optimization. Chemist with Spell in a Bottle with Warline and Vortex, and then a second Ritual Suit Endrinmaster because they're just nice. 10 Arcanauts, 6 riggers, 3 riggers with guns, 3 riggers with guns, 10 Thunderers, all with rifles, 1 gun hauler, an ironclad, 3 drops. You proud? Are you proud of me, Max? Are you proud?
Yes, you're going the right direction, but in this case, would you have preferred to have another 10 Arcanauts and convert the second Endrinmaster into a 100-point hero?
Yeah, maybe take a Navigator and just get a Dune of 20 Arcanauts.
20 or 2 of 10. Yeah, or you could stay
20 keeps your 3 drops.
Yep.
Yeah, you've been Triumph territory as well then. Oh no, wait, it depends if you did a Navigator or a Chemist or an Endrinmaster. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, go
100-point hero. You'd be the
go
same.
for a Navigator.
Yeah.
For the
dispel.
half move someone. Yeah. To dispel. That never happens anyway. Let's be honest. With no bonus, you're not stopping anything.
Yeah, so the riggers did work, the 6 riggers with swords, but they often got killed before they could do much. Or just didn't fit in where I needed. They couldn't teleport with the boat because there was one time when I was a really tight fit for the boat, and it was just the boat and the master who could get in, and the riggers just kind of floated alongside everything else. I don't know if I'll take 6 riggers again.
So
Well, usually 6 riggers is the sweet spot for riggers because they can go with a boat, and you can set them up as a screen for the boat or something like that.
Was the terrain quite heavy on the tables then?
It actually wasn't either. There was a couple times, so it was nice to basically completely ignore Ulgu. There was sometimes I was just shooting through a forest or through a building, but there wasn't like we got so worried about Ulgu, and then there were like 5 to 6 pieces of terrain per board.
So I'm struggling to see how you couldn't fit the ironclad and the riggers down then, unless it's just like table edge and behind something.
Units.
So this was specifically against it was an Archaon list with Zench, and he had Archaon as far back as he could, and then he had a screen of dudes, but then he forgot that there was a corner next to Archaon that had nobody in it, and it was an ironclad sized hole right in that corner.
Just not big enough for ironclad plus riggers.
Yeah, it was like a perfect 6-inch by 4-inch hole. I was like, oh no. and then Archaon got nuked turn 1, and that was kind of game. Feels bad.
So generally speaking, you felt like you missed out on Arcanauts.
I really, just for the amount of screening that they can do, the layers of screening, and just having control of all 3 objectives at the start of the turn, or all the objectives in your deployment zone, and not having to deploy a whole army in this tiny little, hang on, see if I can do this properly, corner in the, corner like that in the bottom of the board.
Okay. So do you think, so we just talked about, if you make it a unit of 20, would that actually help that much? Because rather than having 2 units of 10?
Yeah, that's what I
know the drops is better, but 2 units of 10 is more useful.
Yeah, I think 2 units of 10, 100% more useful. 20 just means that I can screen out the whole corner and I don't have to worry about screening with ending riggers.
I think one of the overlooked things with Zilfin is the auto run 6 and then just pushing some Arcanauts forwards 10 inches on your objective.
Yeah, just 10 inches every turn. Just they are constantly a threat that will constantly take objectives. That's all they're there for. Survive and take points. They don't kill
you missed how did you get on the battle round? And is this another typo? Did you have the Sky Cannon? Did you have the Skyhook?
No, Sky Cannon.
Okay.
+2 to charge is nice, but the battle ram I just saw was kind of an extra, and I might have probably could have just taken the last word instead. But I did manage to kill a Volturnus I finished off a Volturnus with the battle ram. And I think I killed one of a ghoul hero of some kind with the spar torpedo. So no, boats that punch in and do tons of mortal wounds. Very fun. Very worth it. No, it was good. Good pick.
And the second Endrin Master of Dirigible, was he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think 2 of them. They're just really solid for 190 points. They put out so much firepower. They do plenty of damage in combat. They're fast. Yeah, they're no complaints.
Did you play any hero missions? We know where only heroes score.
Yes, that was Scorched Earth. So Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
Scorched Earth, where only heroes. If you have a hero on your objectives, they can't burn them. And if you burn an enemy objective with a hero, you get 1 extra point. So it was good for that. But that was also the mission where I nuked Archaon in turn 1, and he kind of just gave up.
Okay.
So
nothing like Places of Arcane Power or something where, because it's something a mission like that is one where I think, having 2 dirigible guys would be really handy.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But Scorched Earth.
And Will in the chat says he saw you playing against an E or heavy IDK list, and that board was pretty heavy with terrain thanks to their Rex.
Yeah, it helped. It having all flying and just completely ignoring Ulgu did help. So I think it was possibly the right pick to just fly up, but it definitely lost me the last game, not having my old list.
Okay. So
also, yeah, I played against 2 Idoneth armies, and they both did the exact same thing, which was it was eels, defensive eels in a shell, turtle in the middle, character surrounding the turtle, and just walking this giant Tetsudo blob up.
Yeah, waiting for round 3.
Yeah. So I just Warp Lightning Vortex, hit the whole thing twice, and then just shoot into it. Throw the Grudge Bearer at Volturnus. Volturnus blows up. The Grudge Bearer then gets shanked by the entire army, but that's okay.
He's done his assassination. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He shanked Volturnus first. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, basically.
So let's talk about We've got a couple of the games you played prepped. Is there anything you want to say about the games? Because the games we prepped are the ones you lost.
Yeah, because I'd say they're the most interesting. Because the games I won was A, nuking Archaon turn 1 and I win the game, and B, it was the 2 Idoneth lists which were the same game.
Yeah, so it is Warp Lightning Vortex over them twice and killing both players.
Yeah, I mean you've got a 2-up save, but I have lots of shots, just lots of them. So, yeah.
Okay, let's look at one of the games you lost then. So the first one you lost was against Flesh Eater Cause. Stephen Fitzpatrick. That name rings a bell. Not entirely sure whether, but he had a Hollow Morn list with a Crypt Infernal Quarter as a general, Abhorrent Archregent, Abhorrent Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. There's a typo there. A Bargold Courtier.
I got Max sitting up.
Yeah. 10 Crypt Ghouls, 6 Crypt Horrors, 9 Crypt Flayers, the Royal Mordants Battalion, and an extra command point, which made him 4 drops in 1980.
Yeah.
So how many points was yours? Was yours 2,000 on the nose?
2,000 on the nose. So everyone was getting crowns against me.
But you outdropped him.
I outdropped everybody as well. So always going second was really nice. But so Hollow Morn, very, very quick, and Total Conquest. So lots of objectives.
Okay. So you went second, you said, in this match?
Yeah. So 9 Crypt Flayers moved up, and then moved in the hero phase. Then moved up again, then charged, and actually got in and wrapped around my whole screen with their flying. But then didn't actually kill that much. I was expecting them to wipe everything they touched, but they just kind of a couple of Rend 1 attacks killed a few guys, but mostly was alive.
Did he do much with summoning?
So he summoned 3 off the bottom of the board, and then he summoned I think it was a Vargolf. He used a Vargolf model. It was a hero of some kind. It was some kind of hero who basically was summoning things back. They roll, what is it? 6 dice, 8 dice, and then for every 5+, they just bring back a full Crypt Flayer.
Yeah, and that's why I asked, because my experience with Flesh Eater is just take first turn and kill the heroes. Just I don't know how he deployed and how he screened, or if you could reach them, but throw in the vortex and then just shoot them. I don't know if the big guy had the trait for -1 to hit everything within, but still.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. So then just because once the heroes are gone, this army falls apart.
The other thing is hero mission are really important.
Yeah, on this mission they're important, and it's an uphill battle if he starts bringing units from the board edge. With KO you cannot be everywhere.
Units on the board edge, and he was really good on the objective control, and basically Like I was tabling him and just taking the army apart, but he was just constantly just one up on the objective the whole game long. I never got a single double turn, so I wasn't able to kind of shift it over, and it was just constantly. It was just a bit above me, and that trend just continued.
See, that's the thing about going second is you feel like you should get a double turn at some point,
but sometimes you don't.
Yeah, when you don't get it over the course of the game, or you get it, sometimes you get it, it's just too late, or too early. Like you don't if you get it turn 1 into turn 2, sometimes you don't want to take it. You'd rather take it 2 into 3, which is a bit of a risk if you decide not to take it when you get it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you don't get it,
it can lead to bad times.
Yeah. You built your list to get low drops, and then you get low drops, you give away the turn, and then if you never get that double turn, it was all for nothing.
You kind of count on that double. You kind of count on that your plan is, I will get a double turn eventually, and when I do, I'll win.
Mm-hmm.
But if it doesn't ever happen, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
you got to actually play the game properly, which requires skill.
Yeah. I mean, on the plus side, you were never double turned either, so you prevented that from happening.
Yeah.
So in theory, if he had double turned you at some point, the game could have been over a lot quicker.
Yeah. So he won every initiative roll. So basically, going second meant that I was never double turned, and he never pushed me down.
Amazon.
If you got delivery.
Boom, boom, boom.
That loud, it must be my Hermes. It's right over the fence, don't worry. Do you want to go get it?
Yeah. Might as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. We'll badmouth your list.
So, oh well. I mean, we saw. If anyone watched the game on Just Play on Thursday, it's going to be him as well. Where he's talking to whoever it is, just in case. If you watched that on Just Play the other day, they played Total Conquest, and it's I think the leaders make a huge difference if you can get leaders onto objectives to score.
They do. Personally, I really like Total Conquest because you don't need to engage all objectives, but you can get 2 with leaders, so you always have the same score, and then later on jump to take off objectives from someone else and get an extra point for that.
Yeah.
So it's and you can obviously for KO you can screen in the corner, have your little castle far away from everyone, and then just engage where you want to engage.
That was the plan basically, was just castle and then come out.
Yeah.
Barak killed the Terrorgeist immediately.
Yep.
And the chemist managed to. I eventually charged the Ironclad onto the 10 ghouls and Aberrant Ghoul King on his home objective, and the chemist was the one who did the last punch. The chemist killed the Ghoul King in combat. That was fun.
But with his instruments, with his
with his two heavy instruments, just pop.
No red. Wasn't both.
No, and he was in cover as well. He was in cover as well.
So, I mean, what was the takeaway on this? Was it just purely objectives?
I could have focused on more. I don't know. Like there's a lot of the times. So I kind of left my back corner alone a lot. A lot of the stuff just walked off of that and let 6 Riggers and 10 Arcanauts fight 9 Flayers. Which they did a little bit, but not like they lost eventually. And I was just doing I chip damaged. I was just chip damaging the stuff down there, and then he brought it all back, and I chip damaged it, and he brought it all back. So the Ironclad was basically constantly teleporting from one side of the board to the other, trying to deal with everything and not being able to do it. And I spread out too much. I didn't focus down the units enough.
Mm-hmm.
I could have won this. I just played probably poorly.
I think there's a temptation with this battle plan because it's 4 objectives. There's nearly always going to be one that your opponent's weak on, and so it's always tempting for you to like fly high and go to it.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes you're actually better to stay where you are and just fight your ground, and if it's your turn, so you've got the option to fly high, just stay. Sometimes that's too tempting to fly high when you sometimes you're better to stay there and just shoot them. Like if you'd stayed there for that turn and shot those what were they, equipped flayers?
Flayers.
The ones that were with the riggers and the Arcanauts. Like if you stayed there and shot them, and then you would have scored that, you would have got, that with a leader on it as well. And then I don't know, would that have helped? Do you think, or
if I'd have dealt with the big threat in my deployment zone first and just concentrated that down, I think that would have helped. He had like another 6 or 9 of them on the bottom left objective, which so instead of dealing with the ones on my home objective, I went over and killed all of that. I don't know how much of a trouble they would have been later on in the game, but no, just ignoring my home objective, and it was a bad idea.
Yeah, you know what? I think probably.
I think going first and just nuking everything would have been just the play, probably.
Yeah,
I hate going first. It's like because you just it's so all or nothing. Like if you don't nuke everything, and then you get double turned, you just lose.
Yeah, but between Vortex and all your shooting, you're gonna do a lot of damage to Flesh Eater.
Yeah. It's high risk for high reward, isn't it?
Usually it pans out.
The situation where, because they had some stuff here, I'm guessing, and then he bought some stuff on down here, or did he run them?
So he ran them from his. Yeah, they were kind of spread out in a diagonal line between there and between that point and their territory.
Like, could you have gone with your ship somewhere? Like, because you were obviously deployed over here somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I was.
And then where did you fly high to? Over here somewhere?
No, I flew high kind of in the center.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more towards, like a little bit into their deployment zone.
Yeah, okay, somewhere.
There-ish, yeah. And then just kind of went from there and just shot out everything. Didn't take any objectives. Just went for maximum killing.
Okay, so that was going to be my question: was if you could have gone, somewhere in between these two. So if you had realised that you were struggling to kill these guys with your riggers and Arcanauts, you then could have allocated some shooting from other stuff. But something you could have done that anyway from where you were. So,
because I think that the center bit was a bit blocked off. That's why he brought up 3 more flayers from the edge of the board. And there was a hero on. He jumped a hero onto the top right objective. So he was like total objective control from turn 1.
Yeah. Except for yours. Except you had your 10 Arcanauts and the riggers must have outnumbered.
Yeah. They still held their ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just basically don't concentrate too hard on killing your opponent, and if concentrate on killing your opponent piece by piece. Don't try to blow the whole board up and forget the objective. Bad plays.
Okay. Right. So play the mission rather than go for the kills, basically. Sounds like.
Yeah. Rookie mistake.
Okay, let's move on then to... Is this your last game?
Yeah. So this guy... Oh, yeah?
So I was just going to say, it's against Big Waagh. So against Ryan Hooper.
Yeah, so he's basically the best Big Waagh player in Australia. He ended up going second at this event. He is really good at Big Waagh.
I just want to point out as well, he only got 4 wins, but he never lost because it was 4 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
As well. His list is called Pepperoni and Pebbles. I have no idea why. Were they modeled with pizzas and stones?
I mean, Pebbles was his rogue idol. Pebbles was his rogue idol.
That makes sense.
I don't know where the pepperoni comes in. Maybe because it was a spicy list.
Were they painted in red?
Red orcs? No, they were. Yes, they were red orcs.
So it's little pepperoni orcs and a rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, this guy all of those savage orcs spread out across the board. So there was no gaps for flying in.
Let's just explain the list quickly for the podcast peeps because they can't see it. So he had a mega boss as the general, a ward charter with the get and beat, which is the thing that lets them charge better. 2 ward docs, both with the spell Lord Cunning Beast Spirits. Then 2 units of 30 Savage Orcs, and then a unit of 6 Gore Grunters, the piggies, and then a unit of 4 Savage Big Stabbers, and then a Rogue Idol, and an extra command point.
Big Stabbers were because he knew that there was going to be a lot of Archaons at this event, and there were 10 Archaons at this event. Everyone's got to fight an Archaon.
You had a picture of them all lined up.
Yeah, and then with Nagash just lying face down in front of them all. Everyone got to fight an Archaon at least once on that weekend. No, but they don't need to fight a monster to do a lot of damage. No. So do you know what that spell Cunning Beast Spirits does?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It gives you double move and fly.
And is that the one
he puts that on the idol?
It triples it as well.
And if you roll a double, it triples the movement and flies.
Okay.
So what basically happened turn 1 is the rogue idol got to move in the hero phase because it's Big Waagh. Jumped up to 20-inch movement, then moved in the hero phase 20 inches, then moved another 20 inches to 40 inches, punched my screen in the face, killed all the Arcanauts in the 6 riggers. I flew up and tried to over around to try and started shooting into the Savage Orcs and killed 1 squad. But not before he took every single objective. Because did you know if you hurt at the end of any phase in which an orc takes wounds, they get a movement?
Yeah, D6.
Do you know what Warp Lightning Vortex does? Hurts them in a lot of different phases.
Lots of phases, yeah.
So you put the Warp Lightning Vortex on. It's like, I hurt you in the hero phase. Cool. I'm on all the objectives. And then I guess it hurts you in the movement phase. In the movement phase, well, cool. I've jumped over, try and move in and shoot, and he's already surrounded by boat.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get to the pigs. I was just shooting at the 30 orcs, killed 1 squad, then didn't get double turn on the first turn, and then the big stabbers tripled their movement, flew in, charged the boat, and the pigs charged the boat as well, but no, the big stabbers with 5 attacks each. The way he builds his list, he gets 1,000,000 Waagh points. He gets the maximum Waagh points turn 2. So everything was hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s with rerolls. The big stabbers just murdered the boat. I had reroll saves. It didn't matter.
And the Waagh points just get silly. They get to the point where they have so many they're just using them for anything.
Yeah, and because he had 40 at one point. I kept on playing because we at that point we were just having fun, and I had a gun hauler, 6 riggers, and an Endwin Master just kind of murder all of his heroes in the back line. But no, he's a really good player. He's screened out, and he knows Big Waagh is scary and fast and hits hard, and it doesn't need its heroes. Like if I teleport forward and kill whatever heroes he had, his units would have still punched me. I kill his units. I kill a couple of his units. Then he's still got another 30 boys, all of 2 wounds and a battle shock immune because he has heroes. So there's 60 wounds to get through. It's a lot.
Yeah, some Big Waagh lists do have some heroes where it makes a difference if you kill them, but he hasn't got them here. Like if they have a hero with, the teleport spell, the Great Big Hand of Gork, or whatever it's called, I think it's covered.
Yeah.
So like if they've got a hero with that, then it makes a difference if you can kill that hero. But he hasn't got that hero in this list.
He's got 2 of them essentially. And you don't need teleport if you can move 40 inches after and fly.
No. The fact that the way Warp Lightning Vortex interacts with them as well, with that so they move, and then they get hurt. Then because they were hurt, they get to move again. So they move twice in their movement phase. They move in our movement phase. They move in our shooting phase,
and our combat phase. Yeah, it just moves every single time.
Yeah.
Plus, can they charge you in your charge phase? Is that Big Waagh? I think so.
He didn't do that. He never
can if he's outside of 9. I think he can, or in 9. I'm not sure, but end of your charge phase, he can charge you.
They can't
charge you.
They can't do the D6 move if they're within 9. I believe. To stop them just walking.
But that's something that sometimes takes people by surprise, that they can actually, in your charge phase, then charge you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's with Mighty Destroyers. They can do that.
Could be.
I didn't experience that, thank God. But no. So I think my old list would have done a lot better because I would have had more screens. The Rogue Idol coming in would have just killed Arcanauts. Wouldn't have hurt my firepower at all, because my firepower is the 20 Thunderers in the boat. And then I think once the boat and the Thunderers came out, he would have been able to kill one or the other, but you don't think he would have had enough punch to kill both of them at the same time. So even after his second turn, I would have still had something left on the board that could have done something instead of the boat dies, all the Thunderers inside die because it's surrounded, and then I've just got nothing.
So I mean, you gave him turn 1.
Yeah.
Do you think you made?
No, if I had taken first turn, it would he was properly screened off, so I couldn't really put a lot of firepower into the heroes or anything. And his turn 1, he did the Rogue Idol came over, but nothing else. He was so far back, all he could do was just move out a little bit.
Okay.
So he was entirely expecting me to go take second turn, and if I get the double, it was game, and if I didn't, it was also game. Because of the way the boat was set up.
Okay, so I mean, do you think there's anything you really could have done differently, other short of having your old list?
I don't think so. He just played really well. He had all the options, and he had answers to everything I was doing.
What if you'd had? I mean, I said short of having a different list. So no, the question was going to be what if you had Void Stone Orb and you could block that double move spell, but he's got 2 wizards that know it. Although you can't attempt to cast it more than once, so
no. So I reckon the old list, I'm definitely going to change the second chemist to be a navigator with a Voidstone Orb instead of a chemist with the anti-shoot with the vent plates, because I think magic meta is more important to combat than shooting meta right now.
Yes.
more important to stop that Teclis's one important spell then is to stop some archers shooting you, and they don't need to hit because they need to roll 6s anyway for mortal wound.
Yeah. Okay. So conclusions. Are you just you will go back to that list, but that will be the tweak, will be the navigator.
Yeah. I tried stepping out of my little box. It didn't work. I'm going back.
So there wasn't anything you learned from this experiment that you will then include in your old list, maybe?
I don't think so. I like having the freedom to put artifacts on my boat and having a couple combat characters to walk around. But honestly, the boat doesn't need. Yeah, the old list needs the buoyancy aids, and it's pretty tight. So yeah, just play better against Beck and get a new list.
Do you think this was also a matter of you not being so used to this list?
Could also be.
If you would have played this list for half a year, would you feel you could have been better?
Probably. I mean, yeah. Experience is always really like the factor. And I hadn't used this list much. I don't use combat balloon boys that much, so probably wasn't using them correctly. Could have stayed back a bit more and just used their guns, or to screen them off better. Learn how to try and maximize 10 Arcanauts. I was putting them at 1 inch, maximum spacing. It just wasn't covering the whole thing, not with the gun hauler in it as well.
Okay. So, I mean, conclusion times. You're going to go back to your old list and then include navigator.
Yeah, needs more Arcanaut. A list needs more Arcanauts.
Any thoughts about Broken Realms, Bellacore from with your normal standard list? Is that the way the guild triumphs, are they weighing in on any thoughts at all?
I don't.
Definitely the chemist on the Thunderers. I assume.
Yeah.
Because you can now buff them inside the ship.
But it's not going to change the list, is it? It's going to make the list better.
It's not going to change the list. It's just nice additions. He can buff the Thunderers in the boat, and then they can get out. Or he could give the boat reroll 1s to wound sometime if he needed to.
You could even buff them inside the ship, do a flyby, shoot people, and then next turn drop them somewhere else.
Yeah, but they've got all the special weapons. They want to be out.
Yeah, but still, with the reroll 1s, then they're still good with together with the ship.
Yeah.
The other thing is timing. We know with the new edition coming, it's not really a good time to start experimenting with this. You might as well stick with what you know.
Yeah, look, at this point, we're just in a holding pattern of just kind of having fun with what we can do until AOS 3 comes out.
Yeah.
Also, do we think we're going to lose our triumphs? Do you think the standard triumphs are going to disappear?
I don't think so.
No.
Because Broken Realms, Bellacore, if they were going to change our triumphs, there would have been more changes in them. They added the guild triumphs because heroes currently weren't using their gold very much. There wasn't any
reroll saves.
Maybe reroll saves, but then that means potentially you're not using it on an ironclad or something. There wasn't much incentive to use gold on the heroes, was there?
No.
Especially after the triumphs changed in the GHB previously, because we used to have 6 options, didn't we? So then they added 3 more. Well, no, 6 more to compensate again. But if they just now remove the normal triumphs, that means that only heroes can use their triumphs, and the ships and units can't. They've got gold shares.
Well, unless they give us new ship triumphs.
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, why didn't they do that in Broken Realms Battlecore? When they were giving us other new triumphs, why?
Because you need to buy 2 books instead of 1.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, that's the cynical, answer. I mean,
I don't know. It's always stupid that half our allegiance rules are not in our book, but somewhere else.
Well, now we've got 3
We'll
books.
see what they do to I think they'll change command abilities. Maybe that makes the Admiral more viable with his 3 command or 4 command abilities, of which 2 are just useless currently.
One thing I would say about triumphs is they could change them. I don't think they'll take them away, but they could change them. So they could make them reroll 1s, or just something completely different, couldn't they?
Oh, we did.
Reroll 1s they can do with a command point. Like then it's just a free command point.
That one of the leaks was that the new command traits were going to be reroll 1. The new command traits were going to be +1 to hit rather than reroll 1.
Command ability, you mean?
Yeah,
command ability.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good for us. Well, it's really good for everyone. So,
I mean, do we need +1 to hit really? Because old Codex was all the 4+ to hit, but now we've got a lot of 3+, which is
Well, but
here and there.
If we get more minus to hit from terrain, from lookouts, or from I don't know what.
I mean, sure. If you're using a charge reaction to shoot something that makes you -1 to hit, then you add on, +1 to hit. If you've got two command points to spend.
If it works like that, then definitely, yeah.
I mean, it depends. We have got a lot of 3s to hit now. If it says a +1 to wound on rifle,
that would be
rifle thunderers. That'd be really good. 3s and 3s then.
Yeah, wound modifiers are quite rare in the game.
And also, for riggers, +1 to wound on their shooting.
Yeah. It's back when we had the ships that were all hitting on 4s, +1 to hit was a big deal. Now we want +1 to wound for our 4+ to wounds.
Yeah, I mean, you could make riggers 2s and 2s in combat. That'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Well, you can already do that in Tempest Eye.
Yeah, that's in Tempest Eye.
Kharadron Overlords.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah, basically, and you'll be able to put them in battalions with the core battalions as well.
It's basically Kharadron Overlords +1 save.
Question, not a question, but a statement or something from the chat. A speculation. A speculation from the chat. That's what I want. A comment. Philip is saying he wonders if they're going to do with orcs. Go to do orcs to dwarves and basically put overlords, Farsas, and Unbound into one codex. I don't.
First of all, what do you mean by Unbound? Dispossessed?
I assume he means dispossessed. Or I'm on Arsenal.
I hope not. As much as I love my dwarves and my dwarf armies, I prefer not to have a cities of dwarfs, because then you always have those units that just do something better than the others, and you'll never use, I don't know, Iron Drakes because Thunders just do it better and have 2 wounds.
Yeah, or vice versa.
And then you basically you have a lot of war skulls, but you're gonna end up using a third of them.
Yeah,
which is a bit sad, in my opinion. So I hope they keep it separate.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing them doing like a Wrath of the Averchosen style book, where it doesn't replace KO and Fire Slayers and stuff, but it just maybe
gives them mixed battalions that you can take.
Oh yeah,
sure.
That'd be cool.
I mean, since Broken Realms Grumble apparently is not happening.
Yeah, Kragnos is the final one. We're only getting 4. What, 4? Yeah, 4.
Yeah, GW, your big mistake there.
I mean,
you could have sold us more books.
Could have sold me a lot. You could have sold me a gold-plated special edition for 200.
Gold-plated. The thing is, there's 2 more reveals in May. So, So there could be more stuff coming, and there will be new battalion.
Well,
new
there will
books
be new
after the-
Stormcast Primaris models, probably. We might see the new opponent faction for the start box, or even the new box.
I'm guessing destruction.
And I think it is. I think it's pretty clear that it's destruction. Some sort of Femir, Hobgoblin, different orcs, Gobbler, I don't know what, silent people, whatever thing.
But what if it was Zilfin?
Oh dear.
The thing is, even if we're not,
And then that's already
these,
enough for 2 shows.
Even if we're not in these May releases, there's going to be new battle tones the rest of the year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, although I don't think if they have a new edition, KO will be one of the first. They'll be one of the last.
No,
because our battle tome is recent.
There could be battle tone, brand new Duardin race with Bromley at the head, or something like that.
As much as I'd loved it, I doubt it. There'll be another
the name of the show.
Battle show. Battle tome. Let's be honest.
So,
the third Lumineth.
There could be
the
more
Tyrian
stuff coming.
I mean, there is more Tyrian elves coming. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that's one.
And maybe
the third book
stuff as well.
Then Umbrenef, yeah, maybe. I think we'll see a new Nurgle and Beast of Chaos book soon. And then, who knows?
It does feel like there's
new
setting
Stormcast
something
book
up in the narrative for Duardin.
It seems, but it's a whole like, stop drip feeding me. Just give me, tell me. Yes.
Yeah, it's a question of how long do we have to wait for it, and then what exactly is it? So I
don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with in Be'lakor. The story is definitely heading towards like some kind of combined big dwarf thing.
Yeah, plus the whole White Dwarf articles we've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bromley is busy checking in on everyone.
So yeah, I think there'll be something, but I don't think anything will replace stuff, and I don't want it to replace stuff.
No, maybe they'll do a new cities book with all add in all these cities that we got in Broken Realms, like in one book.
Yeah, I mean, how old is the cities book?
How old? October 19. Together with the Orc book.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't a huge amount of time after the. When was the second edition? 19 or 18?
18.
Okay, well, I guess it was quite a long time after the new edition then.
But that was still the time where they were trying to get everyone a battle tome.
My phone is about to die, so I'm gonna have to wrap it up here.
Well, we're treading water now anyway, I think. So I think we can call it a day. A couple of reminders. If you want to get some Aethercast dice, they are on pre-order still. That ends tomorrow night, so Sunday night.
And more importantly, by doing so, take part in our giveaway. When are we gonna announce or draw the prize?
I don't know, but we'll be able to work it out.
Tomorrow,
next week, because that could be up until midnight tomorrow to enter and to get their dice and stuff. So then, either the weekend or maybe we can do a midweek thing or something.
A short, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. But so go check that out. Enter the competition, get your dice. And if you like the show, please hit like. If you like what we're doing on the channel, please subscribe. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. And thank you, Krohn and Max, for joining.
Yep.
And chatting with me. So thanks, everyone. See you soon, Skyfarers. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.